I've been setting this up in the prior video, explained to you my positions, showed you those live trades. I'll show you the profit that they're in now. Nothing to get too excited about, but that's just because me and my position size is lower than usual. However, I really want to highlight here what we have is this bear market resistance band. That's the 200-day moving average, y'all. It does not fail. Very rarely do we get above this in a bear market. Now, this has been a great counter trend rally, but I think we're in a buy the rumors, sell the news type of situation with the Clarity Act. And if we zoom out here, probably the weekly, you can see in past bear markets, yeah, little peak above, maybe real strong rejection. It's just something that tends to hold very well. So you can see here again, little peak above, but you can see a bulk of the price action is below this. When we get above it, things change. Okay, things change. So even in that summer lull back in the 2021 cycle, we saw a lot of tests of the 200 and an inability until we closed above, retested, moved on, retested, moved on. So once again, it's something that is super big, super critical. We are looking for higher time frame closes. This weekly, for example, is a big one. We want to see this weekly close. But honestly, this has just been exhausting. It's been an absolutely exhausting ordeal. If you had the bear lens on, which I did. So I took in some longs in here and whatnot. About to show you those right away, but I want to show you on this higher time frame. Right, this is the 4 hour, and the 4 hour, yes, coming into an area where hey, it might be wise to take profit. If it hangs out here forever, yeah, I'm probably going to set a stop above this big sell off, something like that. But you can see the rejections. You can see it hugely on ETH as well. So unless it's some sort of crazy institutional accumulation and manipulation of price to keep it in a specific range bound area or a specific range to accumulate for higher prices, then yeah, sure, that is always quite possible. But honestly, looking at ETH by itself, there have been so many rejections. In fact, I don't even like the Coinbase. Let's go with some higher liquidity. Let's go with the trading view index. Bloop. So you can see it. All these rallies are getting sold off into. Sold off. Sold off. Sold off. Even these littler ones, 4 hour time frame, right? Within a day, sold off. Within a day or two, sold off. Boom, sold off. Again, right here, stopping power, sold off. New lows, breaking down. ETH is the clearest indicator of that, and in fact, I didn't open anything on that side, but it was just kind of the most boring price action, and though the strongest short potential, because honestly, all the shorts have been working, all the setups I've seen have been working, whereas Bitcoin's been a little more stubborn. I ended up with some Bitcoin trades and Solana. Now, I showed those in my last video. Let's take a quick look. So yeah, nothing major here, nothing too exciting, but yeah, great entry. You can see some of these shorts I was taking earlier, but closing quickly, knowing that this is going to be bouncing around within this range. And I'm going to highlight that range real quick and just say, hey, honestly, between 79,000 and about 80,500, that is where I'm expecting to continue to add to this position for further downside. Obviously, we need to see the break of this range, but those are the positions. Solana, I wish I could. So also a great entry. I did have a small long run up that way. How does this work? Okay, so this was a long, and yeah, I took it here. Let's see, 91 was the open price, 93 the close price, so 91 right up in here. And then, yeah, at 93, I closed. Why did I close around 93? Because, again, that was my signal that I've been waiting for. This is a 4-hour cross. Big sell-off, right? And I expected this to get eaten back up before rolling over again. And of course, we're broken down. This is a very strong accumulation area that led to a nice rally. So I would expect this to be a tough area and provide a bounce. Ultimately expecting a very strong down candle somewhere down the way here to break through and set new lows. And honestly, I don't think anything happens until we get down into that range here. So these are just the prices to be aware of. But of course, I am, not looking for that. I'm looking for a retest of this bottom, maybe a recovery of this liquidity, likely new lows. That's what I'm expecting. But honestly, you got to play the charts as they are, as they present themselves. So go back one more again. Bitcoin, boom. Don't you love TradingView? And so, yeah, I'm expecting a rollover. Obviously, we have some key areas to break down and through. But here's how I'm looking at building a position. So if you're not already in position, if you like to trade, be smart. Position size is everything. If you can't accept your risk, do not be trading. This is very much that introduces emotion, and you have to be monk-like to trade, which is why I'm on the smaller side of my positions, where I can let it do all this and not feel the tremble to close and fear that I'm gonna lose the profit I already made. But if you just look at this, this is kind of exactly how I'm looking at it, right? Up here, we've got all of our rejections, the liquidity. I don't think institutions will expect the price to come back up here. If it does, I am not super concerned. I am not holding on to the bear narrative. If anything, I'm holding on to this lower time frame move to the top. But if you look on the daily, again, there's the 200 moving average, historically always a point of resistance, even if it doesn't get perfectly touched or tested. Again, it hovering around here and making multiple pokes, that's usually a sign it wants to break through, or we're just building a distribution range for lower prices. That's the narrative I'm betting and I'm trading. You just saw. But once again, here it is. There, down low, down low, down low. Anything between this, I'm going to call it 79 and 80,500. That to me is worth adding into, worth building a position for. The invalidation is, of course, any close, I'd say above 82,000 there. You can obviously get a wick, but any close above 82,000. So again, I'm a swing position guy. I expect that we get a far better pullback. I mean, right, the 0.382 is all the way down here. That makes some sense, and that shows a strong uptrend if this holds and moves up. But I mean, it's a bear market. It's a bear market until proven otherwise, and we would have to see a higher high. We'd have to see, personally, I'm going to have to see closes above 90,000, because this strong, look at this sell-off on the weekly. Actually, I like the 5-day better. Look at this strong sell-off around the 90. It's just like, it's just very clear. This was the candle that started this sell-off. This was the breakthrough. I'd be very surprised if we got above 86,000. And if we close above 90, yeah, I got my bull lenses on. We're in a super cycle. Institutions have taken over. The ETFs are driving price action. Michael Saylor is an absolute king, so on and so forth. So we'll see how this plays out. Thanks for checking in. Try to keep these short, but obviously I'm not unscripted and just giving you the exact juice raw. So if you're tired of the gurus and you're tired of the bullshit, check this out, because guess what? An algo is dropping for a lot of these signals. Only one for crypto right now that I truly trust, and many more many more to come. So drop a comment if you want to see more of that. Also check out our new channel, Alpha Algos, where we do have a live NASDAQ futures algorithm that has outperformed every asset over the past 10 years, except for Bitcoin and NVIDIA. Peace.